What's up, everybody? How you doing? You good? My name is Model and thank you for stopping by. So, we all know that it is very hard to find an investor who will invest in our idea or a startup before it's in play. And when you look at financial institutions, it is very hard for them to approve a startup loan. Today we are going to discuss a few tips we can use here and there to save up some money from that very low income of ours we earn so we can invest. Keep watching. Have a target and a timeline at which you want to achieve that target. If you want to start saving, it is more applicable and more achievable if you write down a particular number. So you've got to do the math, get the amount of money you want to save up, and divide it into the time period you would like to achieve it. To know how much you need to save on a monthly basis to achieve that goal in that particular time period. Budgeting forces you to plan, and like they always tell us, if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. So when you budget, you get to know where exactly your money is going most, and that way that helps you reallocate or prioritize the things that you're spending on. So budgeting is key in this matter, because for you to be able to hit that goal you set, you need to make sure that the money you're to save is available. What do I mean by that, and how can you achieve that? Well, if currently you have one bank account, go back to your bank and open a second one, because all your money is going into that one account. If you have two different accounts, you can go to your bank and request them and tell them you want a certain amount of money chopped from your general account and deposited into a different account. So if you're using the same bank, you won't incur any charges, because usually transfers within the same bank are free of charge. So when you command them to do that, every month they will deduct that particular amount of money and deposit it in your investment account. Until you've achieved your goal, then you can go back and tell them you want to cancel that. But let me warn you, this can only work if you practice self-discipline. If you do not have self-control, this will not work for you, because it is hard. It is hard if you're used to spending your money anyhowly. Now you will have to be frugal with the finances. So there are some things we cannot do without, like food, shelter, transportation, health, clothing. Those are some things we cannot avoid spending on. However, we can intentionally cut down on how much we spend in those areas. So this is what I advise. Do more home-cooked meals than eating out. In most cases, the amount of money you spend on one meal when you're out is, you can actually use the same amount to buy groceries for 2-3 days if you're making a home-cooked meal, depending on where you've eaten. Yeah. So if you cut down on eating out, you'll be able to save more, and at the end of the day, you add more into your investment account. Transportation. We cannot avoid that, because we do need means of mobility, whether you're going to work or you're going to purchase something, things like that. We really can't do away with that. However, we can plan our movements so that when you're moving out, at least you have 3 or 4 things on your agenda that you're going to do that day, instead of doing them on separate days. That way you cut down on the transport expenditures or on the fuel consumption, hence saving more. Household bills like electricity. We cannot do without electricity. However, there are some things we can do around the house that can help us reduce the consumption. For For example, if you utterly know you're going to sit on your sofa and scroll through Facebook, Instagram, or you're going to be WhatsApping, switch off the electronics that you are not using. If you're doing household chores, why switch on the TV? At least switch on the radio and just listen to music. That really does eat into, like, those are small things that we overlook, but they do really increase our bills at the end of the month. Like, you can adopt ironing in bulk. That reduces the bill as well. How about you adopt a habit of buying what you need other than what you want? I'm not saying don't splurge. Do splurge once in a while, but if you're looking at achieving a certain goal, you're going to have to make some sacrifices. And if you're an impulsive shopper, avoid carrying a lot of cash on you. That way you will not have money to spend all the time. And then when you're buying like clothes, you can purpose to buy a few bottoms and have multiple tops. This might sound minor, but it really does help. So if you're renting, make sure you get an apartment that does not consume 50% of your salary, because you will be left with nothing else. I mean, how about the utilities? How about food? Basically, find an apartment that is affordable. The other thing you could also adopt, find an apartment that is closer to your place of work, so you can reduce the amount of transport you spend on a daily basis to get to work. Please do not forget to tithe. Tithing is important. Give God what belongs to God and Caesar what belongs to Caesar. If you come across the people who understand the benefit of tithing, they even tithe more than the 10% they are supposed to, because they know the secret of tithing. And when you start tithing, surprisingly, the money you remain with is always more than enough to cover your needs. Well, thank you for stopping by. If you haven't subscribed, please join the family by clicking the subscribe button below. Drop a like. Please do leave a comment in the comment section below on how we can save more on our low incomes. Thank you for watching.